Journey into the heart of the Acts of Thomas. The Acts of Thomas stands as a captivating and enigmatic text from early Christianity. It narrates the adventures and teachings of the Apostle Thomas in a way that diverges from the canonical Gospels. Composed likely in the 3rd century CE, this work belongs to a genre known as apocryphal acts. Apocryphal acts were popular narratives focusing on the deeds and teachings of Jesus' apostles. The Acts of Thomas distinguishes itself through its vivid imagery, mystical elements, and unique theological perspectives. His mission takes him to the East, particularly to India, where he encounters a vibrant tapestry of cultures and beliefs. This geographical setting, far removed from the familiar landscapes of the Roman Empire, adds an aura of exoticism and mystery to the narrative. It reminds us that the early Christian movement was not monolithic, but a vibrant and dynamic faith with a spectrum of interpretations and expressions. Central to the Acts of Thomas is the portrayal of Thomas as a dedicated missionary. He embarks on a perilous journey to preach the Christian message in distant lands. Driven by divine commission, he ventures into unfamiliar territories, encountering diverse cultures and challenging established norms. Thomas's mission takes him primarily to India, a land steeped in ancient traditions and spiritual practices. He engages with kings and commoners, rich and poor, sharing the message of Christianity with unwavering zeal. His encounters often involve dramatic confrontations with adherents of other faiths and powerful figures resistant to his message. He confronts powerful rulers, endures persecution, and performs miracles, all to convey the transformative power of faith in Jesus. His mission in India symbolizes the expansion of Christianity beyond its traditional geographical boundaries. The Acts of Thomas is replete with accounts of miracles performed by Thomas. These miracles serve as tangible evidence of divine power working through him. Among the most notable miracles is the account of Thomas raising a young man from the dead. This act of resurrection, echoing Jesus' own miracles, establishes Thomas as a powerful figure endowed with divine authority. Another significant miracle involves a talking serpent. The serpent, often associated with temptation and evil in Christian tradition, becomes a mouthpiece for divine revelation. These miracles, often recounted in vivid detail, capture the imagination and emphasize the extraordinary nature of Thomas's mission. They serve not only as demonstrations of divine power, but also as didactic tools, reinforcing key Christian teachings about the power of faith. The miracles attributed to Thomas in the Acts of Thomas align with a broader trend in early Christian literature. Miracles served as compelling evidence of God's presence in the world and the transformative impact of belief in Jesus. Section 4. The enigmatic teachings of the Acts of Thomas. Beyond the captivating narratives of Thomas's missionary journeys and miracles, the Acts of Thomas presents a unique set of teachings that distinguish it from other early Christian writings. These teachings often emphasize asceticism, personal renunciation, and a mystical understanding of Jesus' message. One recurring theme is the call to celibacy. Thomas advocates for abstaining from sexual relations, even within marriage, as a path to spiritual purity and union with God. Another prominent teaching revolves around the rejection of material possessions. Thomas encourages his followers to relinquish their wealth and embrace a life of simplicity and detachment from worldly concerns. The teachings presented in the Acts of Thomas offer a glimpse into the diversity of thought within early Christianity. They provided a path for those who sought to emulate Jesus' example of selflessness and detachment from worldly concerns. Section 5. Asceticism and Encratism, distinctive theological threads. The theological perspectives embedded within the Acts of Thomas set it apart from other early Christian writings. It embraces themes of asceticism and encratism, advocating for rigorous self-discipline and renunciation of worldly pleasures. Asceticism, the practice of severe self-discipline and abstention from indulgence, finds a prominent place in Thomas's teachings. He advocates for celibacy even within marriage, viewing it as a path to spiritual purity and closer communion with God. Encratism, a philosophy advocating strict self-control and abstinence from worldly pleasures, further shapes the theological landscape of the Acts of Thomas. This philosophy encouraged followers to abstain not only from sexual activity but also from consuming meat and alcohol. The prominence of asceticism and syncretism within the Acts of Thomas highlights the diversity of beliefs and practices within early Christianity. These practices offered a path to spiritual liberation and a closer connection with God by transcending the material world and its perceived temptations. Section 6. The significance of the Acts of Thomas in early Christian history. Despite its unorthodox teachings, the Acts of Thomas provides valuable insights into the dynamic landscape of early Christianity. It challenges the notion of a monolithic early church and illuminates the diverse tapestry of beliefs and practices that characterized the movement's formative centuries. The text's emphasis on Thomas's mission to India underscores the early expansion of Christianity beyond its traditional geographical boundaries. Furthermore, the unique theological perspectives presented in the Acts of Thomas highlight the spectrum of interpretations of Jesus' message within early Christianity. The popularity of the Acts of Thomas in certain early Christian communities, despite its eventual exclusion from the canon of Scripture, testifies to its enduring appeal and influence. It reminds us that the early church was not a static entity frozen in time, but a vibrant and evolving movement shaped by diverse influences and interpretations. Section 7. Conclusion. Echoes of the Acts of Thomas in Christian thought. Though the Acts of Thomas eventually fell outside the bounds of canonical scripture, its influence continues to resonate within Christian thought and tradition. Its themes, imagery, and characters have left an indelible mark on art, literature, and theological discourse. The image of Thomas as a courageous missionary who brought the Christian message to distant lands continues to inspire missionary endeavors. His unwavering faith in the face of adversity serves as a model for those spreading the Christian message in challenging contexts. The mystical elements woven throughout the Acts of Thomas have also captivated the imaginations of artists and writers throughout centuries. The Acts of Thomas stands as a testament to the dynamism and diversity of early Christianity. Its echoes continue to reverberate through centuries of Christian thought and practice, enriching our understanding of this complex and multifaceted faith.